It's beautiful out, a little breezy. And I have to dig into this and figure out why it's not pumping oil to the bar, you know, the bar lube. That's a little project. But this is what I wanted to focus on. I've been looking for time for a little while. What it is, it's a 625 carcass. Basically, the 625 was the lower end of this chassis for Jonsered, very much like a Husky 61 with the open port cylinder. And true to form with that whole class of saw, both the 61 through 272 Husqvarna, but also the 625 and 630 Jonsered, they share a lot. They share a lot of parts. So I put a 630 top end on this saw, you know, and hope it'll perform a little better. That's what they do. 630 was a ripping little saw. And like that saw, I'm going to pull this oil pump off. But before I do, I want to point out a couple of things. You see the little worm gear. See it right there? Little plastic thing. That engages that, which engages the oil pump, which pushes oil out there for your bar. But that's not being turned by motor RPMs. That's being turned by engaging with the clutch. So what happens is enough RPM spins that out, the clutch, which engages the drum that has these slots or, you know, prongs, whatever you want to call them, which in turn, once the drum is turning, that turns. And once that turns, you get oil. Beauty is that when the saw is idling, it's not pumping oil. And when the bar picks up RPMs, it pumps more oil, which is all good. A couple little details. You can tell this is a little bit later version. It's got the M10x1 thread versus the 1/2 inch 13. And this is a single coil versus 2 ignition coil. Instead of having one here and one here with a plug wire up, it's just got one over here like a later model 272 style saw. Along with a single ignition coil versus the double, you get a different top cover. We've gone through this before, but I'd like to review that. So, variety of different variations on the theme, both Husky and Jonsered. And so what I'm going to do now is try to pull this apart. I want to change the seals in there. I think this thing sucks air. So if I can change the seals. Bob came up yesterday and brought up some parts on here somewhere. I've got a set of seals for that saw. Maybe they're over here. So this one right here is the Husky version. Well, it was originally. That was a 61 that also had an open port. But this one here had the yeah, here they are. 2-coil ignition, which has been sort of the bane of my existence for quite some time. Check out how that cover is fastened. It's supposed to have a threaded hole in the top of the cylinder. Of course, this one doesn't. It has a 272 top end. Yeah, and once you pull the screws out of this, you've got these 2 spots right here that you can use a screwdriver to get in there to pull that out. It's not rocket science. So when it comes out, it should expose the bearing. See it? Something dropped on the floor. I'll have to go down and find out what that is. Huh. There's a lot of dirt in there. I'm going to try to carefully get that dirt. So that's what it looks like underneath the oil pump. I've got some cleaning to do. Not going to go crazy with it because what really matters is the inside there. That O-ring is what usually fails. See that O-ring right there? And what I'll probably do is put one in there, and I'll goop it up as well with 1184. There's your part numbers. This stuff is still available, but you can sub in, a reasonable ring, O-ring in there. But, once that seals up, it should be a good running saw. I'm a little surprised it's leaking. It doesn't look bad. I mean, I don't see a broken ring or it compressed an awful lot. The seal looks really good. I mean, it still has the lip in there and everything. But I don't know. Sometimes they just get old and a little stiff and stuff like that and just don't flex well and therefore don't seal well. So that's probably what's going on. And of course, the other thing that could be going on is a fuel line. Something stupid like that, right? But here, let me turn the camera off. I'm going to warm this up, pop that out, put another one in, get the O-ring on there, and then put it all back. Just a little bit. I don't want to melt anything else. I just want to get a little bit warmer than what it is because it's freaking cold out here. I used these. That worked, That solid mass, when you tap on it, doesn't want to move. So it gives you more of a solid base to work from. So that came out pretty quick, and I put the other one back in using a standard, seal driver. Here's the seal that came out. Didn't look terrible. But the O-ring is quite a bit different than what Bob gave me to put back in. Look at the difference in the diameter of that stuff. The cross-sectional of the ring itself. This one's quite a bit thicker. So I'm going to put a little 1184 on the outside when I put the ring in there, as much as a lube as anything else to put it back in. Now the cases, they look beautiful. The bearing looks good. And every time I take one of these apart, realizing that that's from the mid-80s, 90s, 2000s, 10s, that's 45 years old. There's your case for steel cage versus nylon. Longevity. So let me see if I can get a little oil on this and a little 1184 there, push it all back together. Again, I don't have my stand, so you're going to have to imagine what that looks like. Now, one of the things that I did is I made a little sleeve, a little cone. I cut the end of a funnel off and I ran a drill on the inside. So it did a slip fit over the crankshaft, but also didn't let the square edge of the crank right there grab a hold of the bearing and prolapse it, push it out. So after that, I got to put some oil in there or grease and then worm gear, and then maybe we can see if this thing actually runs. I'm here at, well, that's 309, right? Got a train coming. It's I-020. That's what it said on the radio. So I guess we'll just let them go by. The light's behind me, so it should work out pretty well. Move back out of the way. Boy, there's no flies on the back of that train. They go by here so fast. Yeah, just knocked the lights down. They're red. Got another train coming up out of Syracuse. They just let go, so maybe he'll come by at a normal speed. It's either that or we're going to go up the road a little bit to towpath. You got a corner up there they have to navigate, so they slow down.